Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. What's the matter?
I'll read it.
Are you losing it?
No. You're the highlight of my day, Daniel.
I'm pulling a little plank on
You're
Sandra.
trying, but at least I can pronounce it. Chauncey Jerome Bird Snurker, Banana Peel Recycling Program. What's he going to recycle them into, Daniel?
I don't know. We'll have to find out later on.
Well, we'll tell the audience that you guys need to stick around because our fifth guest is somebody named Chauncey Jerome Bird Snurker.
The third.
Oh, the third, excuse
Esquire.
me. The Esquire. The
Esquire.
third.
There we go.
With his Banana Peel Recycling Program. And I'm having to drink water.
Okay.
Lots of it because it's hot as the blue blazes out there, Daniel.
It is, you know, and we have a problem, not so much a problem here, but we have this huge studio area, and the air conditioning, when we turn it on, it runs continuously because there's a huge area to cool.
We need a smaller studio.
You know, we probably should downsize.
Downsize. Can we lower the ceiling?
You know, I'd probably, the expense in lowering the ceiling would probably not offset how much we're paying in extra.
Okay.
So I think it'd be okay. It's just like buying a green car. You know, you buy a green car, which is $50,000.
So you don't.
And you could have bought. I know it's probably politically correct to say, well, that's what we ought to be doing is buying green stuff, but to offset the cost of what you would save in gas.
I think a lot of the people who buy it don't buy it to save money. They buy it to save the planet, kind of thing. They don't buy it to save money.
But you're still burning fossil fuels to operate. I think if you're going to go green, you need to go completely green instead
ride a horse.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, Robert Dyer, our physics over there at campus, and we were talking about it one day. We were sitting there at lunch or something like that, and he said that like the electric cars, that since most of the electricity in the United States is produced by coal, which is actually dirtier than gasoline, that it's really not in the long run that environmentally better to drive an electric car. Now, I've never investigated that myself, but he said that you should just buy the highest fuel efficiency gasoline-powered car that you could.
Well, you know, the gasoline burns fairly clean, burns a lot cleaner than diesel. And with all the EPA components on
then why are people
a car,
still allowed to have diesels?
I think they're classified differently than a regular car. They don't
diesel
have
used to be cheaper, right? That's one reason why a lot of people.
And now it's more expensive.
And now it's more expensive. Okay, but can't you get better gas mileage on diesel?
I think you can, yeah.
Yeah, because I know a guy and his wife drives a little bug, a little VW bug. He says he gets like 50 miles to the gallon. It's a little diesel bug. I know regular ones don't, because I test drove.
Well, you know, they're making these conversion cars out of to run on restaurant grease.
Oh, well, they've been doing that for a long time.
Oh, I know. It's just like a vegetable oil kind of thing.
Yeah, the French fry smelling cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And in fact, Becky Baird and her husband Ed, they have, it's an old Mercedes. It's like a 1970 something or whatever. It's just the coolest old car. They named it Matilda. And it runs on vegetable oil. And so Beck drives it in warm weather. You can't drive them if the weather gets below like 55.
They just don't operate.
Yeah.
Right. The engine doesn't run
it starts
properly.
gunking up, and so you have to have a heater to keep the oil hot or something like that. And so she said if it's very cold at all, it's just not worth it to drive it. But she's got one, named it Matilda.
Well,
it's kind of a baby blue, turquoisey color, I think. I haven't seen Matilda in a long time, but that was cool.
We'll get green at some point. I don't know if we'll get completely green in the next 50 years.
I think the United States is gradually going greener by the simple fact that people are more aware. And the whole global warming thing that people argue about, for heaven's sakes, it's like anything else. Whether you believe it or not, shouldn't you do, if it's something especially that's basically harmless, like, you know, recycling, why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
You know, I mean, if it's something that's not going to hurt you anyway and there's no trouble at all, why in the world wouldn't you want to do something that would make the world a better place, whether or not you believe it's ruining the habitat of seals or not, kind of thing. So. You know, that sort of stuff. I'll bring up a controversial topic. So we get hate mail or something like that?
We might, whatever.
I don't think going green's controversial.
I've been going green since the 70s. I don't understand. You know, when they started talking about green, I thought, you know, when
Do you heat your house with wood?
No.
What do you heat your house with?
I have a heat pump and also a propane heat.
I
have propane heat too. Yeah.
No solar panels or anything cool like that?
No. No. I think that's another thing. The expense that you would invest in a solar panel would take you 50 years to pay it back. So I'm not that rich.
Yeah, well,
so I can't do it.
I'm not rich enough to stick to my principles. Yeah, that much. Yeah. Well, anyway, we don't need solar panels today unless it's to suck the heat out of the place because it's a. And I was playing tennis with Joe Wilson this morning, and she told me she heard on the news that in Memphis, the heat index reached 123.
Oh my gosh!
I know, that just blows. They said it would be 110 here today.
Yeah. So what do you do? You're quite active outside.
I'm going to be playing tennis at 6 o'clock this evening.
Well, 6 o'clock's not a bad thing, but could you do it like at 2 or 3 in the afternoon?
I could, but it wouldn't be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just flat not.
It's just hot.
It's you know, like run. I mean, of course, I have lots and lots of friends that are runners, and I have some of them. And, they get off work and they run when they get off work, and they don't. That's when they're going to run. They don't care. And oh yeah, it was really. I said you shouldn't do that. They say it's really hard on your body and just flat out dangerous to run. You're not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah.
You're not building extra conditioning because you're working out in hotter weather. You're just actually, putting a lot of stress on your body that's not good for it.
I've talked about this before. I like to mow with a push mower.
Yeah, I know, Brutus.
And this year with all the heat, it's like, boy, riding lawnmower would be really nice because when you're out there. And you just.
Why don't you do it really? You can't do it really early because the grass is wet.
Well, you can't do it early because it's wet, and then the afternoon it's
too blazing hot.
And I'm tired.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to do it like on the weekend and time it at like 7 o'clock. I can mow for 2 hours.
How long does it take you to mow? Don't you have like 2 acres or something you mow?
I've got about an hour and a half or 2 hours worth of mowing.
Well, that's not too bad. If you can get it done an hour and a half, 2 hours, that's not too bad. Of course, I have a 15-year-old. He mows. That's the best way. Is just to have a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
That works for me.
What do you do to motivate that person to get out there and?
Basically, just say, "Lo, you need to go mow the yard." He's an extremely compliant young man.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic.
But you treat him well, don't you? I mean.
Oh yeah, pet and baby him. But he's really. I've told a lot of people. Court and I got married last year, and all of a sudden I had a stepson who was 14, and I've had lots of people go, "Wow, how's that working out?" I said, "Could not be better. He's the most fantastic kid, and he's terrific."
Good.
Yeah.
He doesn't have brothers or sisters.
No. And basically, I always laugh and say he's kind of like that line from Jaws. He's a feeding machine. You know. I mean, at 15,
put food in front of him, he just sucks her down.
6'1", about 175. Wears a 14 shoe. Yeah, you heard that right. 14 shoe. He just kind of eats from the time he gets up until the time he goes to bed. Never gets full.
16.
He's 15.
He's 15.
He just turned 15 about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he just kind of gets up and he's hungry, and he just kind of feeds.
Well, that
all
mowing
day.
will be secondary when he has a girl to cater to.
But he'll have to mow first or he won't get to cater to a girl.
Okay,
Now that works. You got to get those chores done first, as they say. Oh yeah, but girls have already popped up on the scene, dear. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Being that tall, I guess they would.
Yeah, girls the radar has focused in on the females already.
Our first guest is not here, so we may have
lots of time to
lots
visit.
of time. Do you want to?
Marianne's here. Everybody knows.
Okay.
We don't need to say Marianne Sherman. Everybody knows who Marianne is, and she brought Cujo with her,
which is a proper name for the dog.
What's Cujo's real name?
Ranger. Okay.
Ranger saves people, doesn't eat people.
He just about ate Zinger.
You guys know Zing, because Zing's been on TV
Zing's
several
about
times
this big,
now.
yeah.
And Ranger and Zing clashed, because Zinger thought he was the head of the household here, and that's not the way it worked. So Marianne and Ranger will be on here a little while with the pet of the week, and we're going to talk about some tips on hot weather for your pets.
Okay.
Who else, Daniel?
We have Michelle Anderson and Brenda Spencer are here. Now, I've got written down, it says HomeStyle Educators. Is that right?
Is that what you call yourselves, HomeStyle Educators? For homeschooling, right, Brenda?
Okay.
Even
we left
better.
out the Christians. Okay.
HomeStyle Christian Educators.
Leave out the Christian.
Because I saw HomeStyle Educators, and I thought you were going to give me design tips for my house, like interior decorating. I said, I could use those. Exactly. Okay. That's what I was hoping for. And then she said homeschooling. I thought, oh darn. But anyway, we'll hear about the Christian homeschooling, but I was hoping for interior design tips myself. And then next we have Ramona Lease. There's a mission trip to Brazil to the YY, is that it? The YY tribe, and it's by Amor, Amazon Mission Organization. So we're going to hear about that, and she has some visual aids.
Yeah,
and then you need to introduce Chauncey down there.
No, we're going to save him for
a surprise
Chauncey. Guest
if he appears.
Goes crazy. We'll
if we have time, we'll bring in the banana recycling.
But I think we're going to go to guest number 3, which will be Michelle Anderson first.
Okay.
And then I'm going to let you and Marianne round out the show, maybe, because you got quite a bit to talk about, don't you?
Marianne and I we could be here.
Really
it can just be the Sani and Marianne show, Dan, for heaven's sakes. Couldn't it, Marianne? We can do it, she says.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take a first break, and when we come back, we'll be talking with Michelle Anderson and Brenda Spencer about whatever they want to talk about.
Whatever tips for your home.
Stay with us.